of channelinginc.com. Welcome, welcome. And if you want to know more about what I do and how I help people, please go to my website, channelinginc.com, and I will teach you and train you how to channel and all sorts of spiritual topics that I cover. And today's topic is, what is soul retrieval? Your soul resides in this center part of your body, of your torso, where your sternum is. So your sternum is like, if you look at a skeleton, it's where your rib bones meet, right at the bottom. And that's what your sternum is. And that's where your soul resides. So it's not your heart chakra, it's not your solar plexus chakra, it's right in between. And that's where your soul resides. Sometimes what can happen is, either this lifetime or previous lifetimes, you can have major traumatic events. And what happens is, those traumatic events can actually splinter your soul. Like, we're talking major events, not like, I stubbed my toe or something like that, but like, major kind of events can happen. And then what happens is, when your soul becomes splintered, like not totally, but parts of it might. And then what happens is, you might need a healing process called soul retrieval. That's what I'm going to talk about today. What I've found through experience is that a lot of times what will happen is, when somebody has like needs soul retrieval, there's a lot of symptoms or signs that you could tell with somebody who needs this. Oftentimes, they will say things like, I don't feel whole, I don't feel complete, I don't feel like I'm fully here, all sorts of things like that. Those are kind of like the telltale signs. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, a lot of these people, they'll turn to drugs or alcohol or different ways of coping with this by trying to fill that void. It could be codependent relationships, it could be all sorts of unhealthy behaviors, and they're trying to fill that void because they don't feel whole, they don't feel complete. And that's where soul retrieval comes in. Now, the neat thing about soul retrieval is, basically what you could do is, if your soul becomes scattered or splintered into different realities through either a trained shaman or a trained healer who actually knows what they're doing and they're competent, you can do is, you can gather all those aspects of your soul that are splintered into different realities, and bring it back to this plane, to this earth plane, to this reality right here, right now. And then that person, through healing, can actually feel a lot better and a lot more complete. And then they don't have to turn to these different unhealthy coping mechanisms to fill that void, to try to, because there's no void that they need to fill anymore, because they're complete, they're whole, their soul is anyways. There might be other aspects that need help as well. What I've learned through channeling is that when I do soul retrieval on my students or my clients, is that there's actually a few other things that need to be done while doing this. It's not just about bringing those aspects back here to this reality. Sometimes what I need to do with my clients, and it depends, like I can psychically tune into that person and find out, is sometimes I need to actually do healing on the compartment of the soul. This is like what's called the seat of the soul, and do healing around it and prep the soul and get it ready for its aspects to come back. And then, as I gather those aspects back, then what I need to do is do even more healing on those aspects that come back. And then sometimes I need to do cocoon it and bandage and wrap the soul so it can be healthy. And because doing soul retrieval is just one part of it, it's an important part. That's why it's called soul retrieval. But if I bring these parts back, these aspects of the soul back, but they're in an unhealthy state, then that person's going to have, like, it'll be better than not having them in this plane. But we want them to be healthy as well. And that's where soul healing comes in, where I can actually do healing on the soul. I can help remove the burdens of the soul and help it to be in a healthier state. And this is what's called soul retrieval. The process is a lot more thorough than that. One thing also that I've found is that, I used to think, oh, if I just do it once on my students, on my clients, that they're fine, that everything's great. But then what I found is that actually, usually it needs to be done 2 or 3, maybe 4 times for it to really start to get really healthy, because there's more aspects that I bring back. There's more healing that needs to be done. And then the person feels even more whole and healthier. And then it's easier to tune into your soul. get guidance from your soul. Ask your soul questions like, why am I here? What is my purpose? What am I meant to achieve and do in this lifetime? And I'll give you a little hint. It's not just one thing, it's many things, many reasons why your soul chose to incarnate and what it wants to get out of this lifetime. And the cool thing is about your soul is when it communicates with you, it's not one of those like really loud aspects that's going to be super loud. A technique that I teach my students to do is you want to listen to what's called the quiet whisper of your soul. So get calm, sit somewhere quiet, focus in, look down with your eyes on your soul, and then feel into it and channel your soul. Connect with your soul and feel the quiet whisper of your soul in the center of your sternum area. If you'd like to know more about channeling and learn how to do this on a much more deeper level, including how to channel past lives, not just on this planet, but past lives on other planets that you've had, and all sorts of other cool channeling training that I do, please visit my website, channelinginc.com. You can see all the different offerings that I offer, and have a wonderful day, everyone.